Hello again from the Cannon Academy. We are a homeschool and I am a homeschool grandmother. I wanted to go back over and spend this 15-minute video explaining how you could take a book and finish it, figure out how many lessons you needed and things like that. This particular book is called From Sea to Shining Sea. It's a Houghton Mifflin social studies book. It's probably an older book. Let me see here. $19.94, but it still has a lot of good, useful information in it. And I know that as a veteran homeschooler, I can build on it. I can look up other scopes and sequences and see what has been expanded on. Like, I know that I would need to include 9/11, more current presidents, more current information, things like that. So that's not a problem. I am looking at this, and it looks like it has 4 units and 12 chapters. And each chapter has at least 2 lessons. There are 2 chapters that have 4 lessons and 2 chapters that have 3 lessons. So I could do this several different ways. I could say we're going to do a chapter a week, which means that I would have 12 weeks of school out of this one book. I could say that there are total of 30 lessons in it. If I did a lesson a day, there would be 30 days. Or I could say a lesson a week and have 30 weeks. It's however you want to do it with your child. You know if your child moves fast or slow. You know if it's going to hold their interest or not. Now, then I would look through the book, and of course at the front it has a lot of things about understanding maps and stuff. You could use that as a separate lesson. As it goes through, it explains the different types of maps, how to use the map scale, the compass rose, things like that. You could spend a day or several days doing that and then answering the questions to see if they've learned those skills. And then it describes how to use an instant map and a map grid and different kinds of maps that you can read and what the information that they can give you. For instance, what's grown in a place, what products they have, what climates they have, different things like that. Then each chapter in this particular book tells you at the beginning what it's about and stuff, and goes on for the lessons. They always have a key question that you're going to try to answer, and then they have the key terms that you're looking for as you do them, and they're in bold letters. Now, some people like to go through, if they own the book, and highlight those to help teach the children how to find those answers and stuff. Off to the side, there are more things that you might be interested in knowing and stuff. This one has cutouts of how cliffs are made and what they look like on the inside. Then they have their review questions and activities and stuff. Then you go back to the compass rose and read and do the application. They'll have a literature story in them that fits with the time or the area that you're studying. Then you go to your next lesson and it repeats with doing all those questions and the activities. Then you have a chapter review. You don't have to do all of these. You can pick and choose and stuff. You can count this as an extra day of lessons or 2 days extras of lessons and things. It's just what you want to do. And activities, you can give them a deadline date and things like that. Now, what I like about these books is, and I have a whole set of them, is that they're easy reads. So I can sit and read to a group of children of all ages. And then I can have the smaller children just color a picture. Like this next one talks about rustling leaves and grasses, and tells where they're at and different places like that you might find these. So I could have the younger kids draw a picture with the different grasses and stuff, and the older kids could do a different type of artwork. They could do something similar to these on how the trees would look in different parts of the United States, in different forests and things and stuff. It's however you want to do. Or you can just ask questions and they can all answer at their own levels and things. And my point is, it doesn't matter if you finish this book in 6 weeks, 12 weeks, if you draw it out for the whole year as a lesson once a week and stuff like that. There's no rule that says you have to have social studies or history, geography every day of the week. And you can do that with each subject. And if you have the workbooks, that kind of makes it easier because it gives you a chance to do short lessons and things. There are books for older children, like high school kids. I have 2 very thin workbooks for high school kids that they read a page, and then on the next page are questions and essays and things that they are supposed to do, and you can pick all of them or just a couple of them, and the answers to those books are in the back of the book. So it's an easy grade for me just to look and see what should they have included and things like that. Was there a specific answer and things. A lot of math workbooks are done the same way. So if you stop and think about it, a lot of the math workbooks are just as thick as a math textbook. So as long as you're covering everything you know your child's supposed to learn, it's cool. And you can do a lesson a day for 180 days. Or like I said, you can have math 3 days a week, English 2, science 1, history 1, art 1. It's totally up to you how you schedule things and how much time you want to spend on any given lesson. And when a child finishes a textbook or a workbook, go to the next one. A lot of the information in all of them are going to be repeated at each grade level anyway. They're just going to expand and build on it in each book to a different degree. And in math and grammar, of course, they would learn some new skills as they get older and progress to higher levels. But so doing your own curriculum is very easy, your own lesson plans. I would advise you to do them in pencil because you need to be flexible, and say you didn't get to a certain lesson on a given day, you can erase it and move it to the next day. If you do it in ink, just circle it, draw an arrow to the next day, and move whatever you have to from that day over and stuff. But no, it's always going to be changing. Your child's going to be changing. When you first start in with homeschooling, you're going to want to jump in and buy that really expensive curriculum, but then if it doesn't work out, you're stuck with it. So to me, that's just not justifiable unless you've really done your research and you know that's specifically what you want to do, and that you know your child will like it. That's why I keep saying in all my videos, print out sample pages. Try to get hard copy catalogs that you can sit down and compare the curriculums with in front of you, instead of going to this website, look at this one, and now I've got to go to this website, look at this one. It's so much easier if you have it in front of you and you can see it and your child can see it, and you can read it and compare it and figure out what are you going to get for that money, or do you just want to use various different things. I cannot say enough about the public library and all the resources there and everything. I mean, every subject you can imagine, and it's not specifically a textbook and things, but it's a way to go. With these last two, I've kind of decided, yes, we'll use these textbooks, but I'm also, because they don't read yet, they're just learning, I'm also going to be doing a lot of reading myself, and we're just picking a book or two every day, and I read for 5 minutes out of this book, 5 minutes out of that book, and 5 minutes out of that book, And then we play learning games. And this is what we're going to do. Over the years, I have such an extensive library, what with all the secondhand stores and yard sales and things people have given me, that I really shouldn't have to buy them any curriculum except like for the newer things that I need to know, and I can find those at the library or online through places that I trust with their information. And I know a lot of people are really worried about their high schoolers and middle schoolers, and I keep pushing CLEP tests because they can get dual credits that way. Now that things are kind of opening back up, test sites should be available to get those tests done. Modern States is a good online place to go to help your child study for CLEP tests. They can pretty much take CLEP tests at the age of 11 if they're capable, and all the way through high school. Even adults can go back and do this. Check out College Board. Either find the book and own it, or see if your library has it. Homeschooling for College Credits by Jennifer Cook DeRosa. I love that book. I wish I found it a lot sooner than I did. It was helpful, but if I found it a lot sooner, it would have saved a lot of headaches. She also has Facebook pages by that name, and she also has Facebook pages by that name for each specific state. Other books to read would be Homeschooling Through the Teen Years. I know I turned my head. Homeschooling Through the Teen Years. The Homeschooling Answer Book. There's a book called Books to Build On for various different grade levels. Those are great. I like United Arts and Education Store. That's where I found a lot of my workbooks. I've bought a lot of them online, used, and things like that, and through eBay and various different people that had them on Facebook, selling them in those groups. And like I said, when I go to a yard sale, that's the first place I go. Straight to the books, look for those, look for any educational stories, flashcards, manipulatives, anything I can find. And when someone who's homeschooled and their children no longer use something, or they stopped homeschooling for whatever reason, maybe their children are done with homeschooling and are in college already, they offer to give it to me. I accept it, offer to pay for it. Usually they say no, we just need it out of our house for space, and I am very thankful, and let them know I'm very thankful and stuff. And then they know that I will sell whatever I cannot use because it's something I don't use and don't see using the future, and that allows me to buy things that I do want. So I hope that you found this very informative, and that it helps you out with your lesson planning and getting started in on your homeschool journey. So again, have a great day from the Cannon Academy. Bye-bye.